So the types of email campaigns that we find work best in the sectors we work in, there's several. Let me just find a little pointer. Excuse me. Uh, First of all, cold prospecting, where a company you've never dealt with before, a local company, someone that you know of, you know who the person to contact there is, you could send them a completely cold email introducing your business, telling them more about what you do and so on. One of the best email campaigns that we use is what we call database reactivation. So you're going to have a database of your past customers, people that have used you in the past few years. Chances are you've lost touch with some of those. And one of the easiest ways of getting a bit more work is to send an email out to all those past customers, everyone that's dealt with you in the past, just to remind them of who you are, maybe give them an offer, maybe they'll offer a discount off your services, or show them something that they can do at the moment that will really help them, to give them a reason to contact you right now. When you make an appointment with somebody to go and visit them to give a quote, an appointment confirmation email is great because it A, reminds them that you'll be coming, and B, tells them a bit more about who you are, what you do, and you can follow it up with, after you've seen them, a quote follow-up email that sells your company a bit more, just tells them a bit more about who you are, what you do, that the good points about your business, maybe gives them a few reviews of local people, local companies you've worked with. With all these email campaigns, I'm focusing on them being automated. So I'm not saying for one moment that you arrange an appointment with somebody and then you sit there and type out an email. It takes too long to do that. Everything here is automated. So everything I'm going to be showing you is putting together an email campaign that you click a button and it happens automatically without any thinking about it. When you've got a new customer, a happy customer, and they've been, you've I don't know, installed a CTV system 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's very effective to send out a couple of emails to them to say, hope you're happy with everything. Any problems, please get in touch with me. And if you are happy, would you mind leaving us a quick review? And then give them a link to go over to Google and leave a review for you. Also to ask them if there's anyone they know that might have an interest in your services, maybe offer them an Amazon gift voucher, maybe say to them, we'll give you a £25, a £50 gift voucher if you refer anyone to us. But again, very effective done via email. Another good one we like is what we call lost customer email campaigns. So everybody loses customers. Whether you give a quote and you're too expensive, or you had a customer for a period of time and then they decided to go somewhere else because someone else is a bit cheaper. There's all those companies that you've had some kind of contact with in the past, which you're probably doing nothing with at the moment, and you've got email addresses and names for them. And it's very effective to start sending out an occasional email to them, reminding them who you are, talking about some of the good points that you have, on the basis that sooner or later, their current supplier is likely to make a mistake. Maybe their prices will go up, something like that. And that old customer will start looking around for alternatives. And if you're there and present in their mind, there's a good chance they'll contact you and say, look, we dealt with you 5 years ago. We're not very happy with who we've been using since. Could we have another chat and see what you can do for us? I do tend to separate commercial from domestic campaigns, because I think there's a very different sort of requirement between the two. If you think about commercial, the work tends to be higher value. There's often multiple decision makers, and the decision process can take months, even years on some very, very big jobs. So with an email campaign to commercial customers, we're not looking for a quick decision or anything else. There's no point offering a 10% discount if you decide this month, something like that. The types of campaigns we use there are a cold prospecting one, where local businesses, we want to let them know who our customer is and their services and so on, and just keep them sort of front of mind in case a requirement comes along. What we call nurture campaigns, where our customer has spoken to a company in the past, and we just want to keep reminding them about our customer. We want to keep telling them about some new projects they've been working on the basis it may take a year to make a decision on the thing they're interested in, the thing they've had a quote on. But we want to just keep reminding them month by month that our customer is there and our customer is doing this good project, that good project, having some good reviews coming in and so on. And also with commercial, and it's linked with our sort of nurture campaigns, is multiple follow-ups. So when you do a quote, it needs to be followed up lots of times. Now, all of these can be done individually in a single email, but they work best if you write what I always think of as the perfect email. You get the best wording for your email, and then you use that as a template again and again and again, and you automate it so it doesn't get forgotten. Because the danger is you do a quote for a big job today, next week you're doing a quote for another job, and the week after another job, and so on, and you forget about the one that was done today, and it won't get decided on for another 6 months. But if you've got an automated follow-up nurture sequence of emails going on, then that customer is reminded about you continually. So they don't sort of forget about you when they're getting other quotes from other people. Domestic's a bit different. Domestic often is a quick decision. Often it's going to be, I need to get some new lights fitted in my garden. I'm looking around, I'm going to get 2 or 3 quotes and pick between a combination of pricing and the company I think will do a good job at it. But they're going to decide within 3 or 4 weeks. It's not going to be, well, next year I'm going to get some lights in my garden, so I'll start looking today for it. People don't do that on the domestic side in the main. It's a quick decision. The sorts of email campaigns we use for a domestic tend to be appointment reminders, because private people tend to be worse at keeping appointments. So they'll arrange an appointment for next Tuesday, and then they'll forget about it and they won't contact you to let you know they're not going to be available. So just reminders when they book the appointment, a few days later, and possibly an hour or 2 beforehand of the appointment, just so they don't, forget all about it. Quote follow-up. So you send a quote out, day after an email goes out, hope you received the quote. Any questions, please give me a call. 2 or 3 days after that, another email goes out. If you're interested, here are 1 or 2 other jobs similar to yours we've been doing in the local area, just to keep a continual sort of reminder going to them. Yes, you could pick up the phone and keep on phoning them, but in all likelihood, you're going to be too busy doing other things. So if you've got an automated sequence of emails going out, it just reminds them who you are, what you're offering, and everything else. And if they are going to get 2 or 3 other quotes, the likelihood that they'll use you is much higher if they keep hearing from you and keep hearing good things about you. Special offers are a great one for the domestic side, because people always have work that needs doing. There's always going to be a job that needs doing. And when times are tough financially, people will put that off. They'll think, well, this, I need to, I've got to, the fuse keeps going. I need to do something about it. Well, it's not too bad, because I just keep on resetting it all the time. 6 months time, when I've got a bit of spare money, then I'll have a look at it. But if an email comes through saying, this month we're giving 10% off, 20% off, would you like a free quote for any work you need doing? There's a little bit more of a motivation to say, well, okay, I'll get them to come out, have a look, give me a price, and see how it is. And once you've had the opportunity to go out and see what the problem is and give a quote, then you're in a far stronger position to get the work than if you're just leaving it until the customer is completely ready. With any type of email, the key thing is to have a good database. And the types of contacts that go into database, to my mind, are obviously all your current customers. There's always something you can be saying to your current customers. Your past customers, those that haven't used you in the last 12 months. So those ones that maybe they were domestic, it was a one-off job, or commercial, they've used you before and possibly they're now using somebody else. But you're not entirely sure what's going on there. There's obviously an ongoing need, but you're not getting the work. The customers you've lost, so those that have used you maybe for a maintenance contract on your fire alarms, and someone's come in cheaper and they decided to move over to them instead. So there's a database of those lost customers. The inquiries and quotes that came in but never led to any work. And then local companies and what I call niche prospects. So let's say you're particularly good at EV chargers. Now you might decide to target all the local rental companies in your area that are managing blocks of flats, on the basis that sooner or later they might start getting EV chargers fitted into the car parks, as an example. So with a database, we tend to break it into several categories and then target each one in a different way. So current customers, what we're trying to do there is to keep them keep them updated with what you're doing, and remind them, that if they've not used you for a while, that you're there, that you've got these services, these other services they've never used before, because often someone will use you for, say, CCTV, but won't realize you also do access control, intruder alarms, and everything else. So it's reminding the current customers of all the different things you do. Past customers, just keeping your business in their mind all the time, so they sort of think of you when there's a requirement. Lost customers, well, it's a more, here's an offer, come back to us, we'll give you a discount, we'll do this for you, we'll do that for you. And with each type of sort of category of database, we're tailoring our messaging to their requirements, to what they're looking for and what they need. Now, there's 3 challenges to success with email. The first one is actually reaching somebody's inbox. If you send a single email from Outlook, from Google's Mail, something like that, it will normally get there. If you start sending 100, 200, 300 emails in one go, spam filters will start looking at them. And if everything isn't done correctly, they'll start marking them as spam. And once Microsoft's filters are looking at them and saying they're spam, then it will be across a number of different email addresses, and suddenly whole blocks won't get through. So reaching someone's email inbox is the first challenge to email success. The second one is getting the message read, getting someone to actually open the email, read it, and make some kind of decision based on that. And the third one is then getting them to reply to you, either reply to the email or reply by making a phone call to you. So I'm going to go through those sort of 3 areas in a bit more detail and show you how we handle them.